Today's episode is sponsored by Astero's cybersecurity services. These days, organizations of all sizes are targets for cyber criminals, disgruntled employees, or even nation-state attackers. Astero's performs cybersecurity services providing expert guidance to help organizations defend against threats and protect their data. Astero specializes in penetration testing, where they perform ethical hacking on networks, web apps, or organizations as a whole to simulate what an attacker would do and plug the discovered holes before anyone malicious finds and exploits them. Asteros also specializes in vulnerability management, security awareness training, phishing simulations, cloud security audits, compliance readiness assessments, and much more. As technology expands, it becomes easier and easier to run a business, but if your security is not growing along with your company, then you're going to run into problems. If you don't personally have a company of your own, definitely pass this information along to someone who does, because for a limited time, Asteros is offering companies an attack surface audit completely free. Let Asteros discover potential entry points to your network and how susceptible your company or organization is to cyber attacks. To learn more and to take advantage of this essential offer, just go to asteros.com/free. That's Asteros, ASTEROS.com/free. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in case I don't see you, good morrow. Hello, welcome to the least comfortable show on the internet. It's The System is Down, where we talk about all the uncomfortable topics like conspiracies, politics, religion, and sometimes we just, talk about the news and culture, and other times we build our own culture by making music. I'm making it work. I'm making the segues make sense. You know where this is going. I've got some new music. We've been teasing about it for quite a while. I don't think we'll play the intro here at the beginning because it might feel a little bit redundant. It might feel a little too lengthy. But I do, before we get into any of that, before we get into any music or any Joe Exotic or any racism and all the normal things, I got to give some shout-outs. First off, shout out to my band that also assisted in the creation of this song. I wanted to express, to be very clear, not everybody agrees with me. Not all of my viewpoints are the same as everybody's viewpoints in my band, and the band doesn't really have anything to do with the politics or the conspiracies or anything like that. It's more the real, raw sides of life and some spiritual stuff, perhaps. So I do want to make note of that while there's some crossover here, I don't represent anybody else in the band or whatever. I just don't want to be the Trapped guy, the guy from Trapped who was like hardcore MAGA supporter and then his band got canceled for everything. But whatever, it'll be what it'll be. Anyway, nope, not that either. This show is here only because of you. People in the Downers Club. People like Grumpy Gnome, RJ, JC, Justin Savoy, Silas Lane, Denise, Dave, Amy, Andrew, Matthew, Lee, Leanne, sorry, Catholic, Gigi Vaughn, Zareth Anarchy, Heffalumps, Woozles, SDG, Vanzot Media, Level Zero, Javari, Paul Brandenburg, Craig DeCosta, Derek Evans, Tim Brown, Nathan Sipes, Trenton Campbell, Lee Latorno, William Wells, and so on and so forth. If you'd like to get your name on that list and possibly have it read incorrectly one day on the most important day of your life, the day that I read your name incorrectly, go on over to patreon.com/The System is Down, where you will get more weird, more raw, more offensive, more weekly content, including the after parties. I am not entirely sure whether or not we will do one today. 2 weeks ago, I said we weren't going to do one, and then we did. Today, I'm not committing to either side. I have stuff that we could talk about, but we'll see how this goes. Go join the Downers Club. It helps the show get more luscious every single week, and justifies it monetarily. You can tell me how much you love me. You can weigh your love in fiat currency at patreon.com/The System is Down. Okay, that's enough of the intro stuff. My background just disappeared. The Matrix has been broken. And now is a good time, I would say, to just roll this little ditty here. So this album has been in the works for a very long time. It is finally finished, and it is finally coming out soon. And we'll talk about it more after, but and we'll bring in Dave after this, and then he'll probably overly hype how good it was, even though it'll be what it'll be. But Dave will say it's really good, no matter how he actually feels about it, because he's just that type of guy. But this is from my band, The Dawn Retreat. This song is called My Reality, off the upcoming album, Crown of Horns. Thank you. I'll make questionable decisions. I'll be in back.
chance and I reject your vow. I'll do it wrong. I respect your concern. My reality is valid as yours. All my life has been written off as something I should be proud of. When all is said and done, you won't ever second guess yourself again. So how does it feel when complacency's faded? And how does it feel when your faith is shaken by reality? Is your God big enough to relate to you? All my life has been written off as something I should be proud of. When all is said and done, you won't ever second guess yourself again. Charge me for my sins. If I'm your enemy. If all of this is all this they say, if I'm made then you made me. I'm hated by your standards. If my interpretation has no meaning, are you not to blame for my thoughts and such meaningless endeavors? All my life has been written off as something I should be proud of. When all is said and done, you won't ever second guess yourself. All my life has been written off as something I should be proud of. When all is said and done, you won't ever second guess yourself again. Charge me for my sins. If I'm your image.
Yeah, suck on that, Tim Pool. And we are here with the one and only Dave Casey of Dave versus Goliath. Dave, how are you?
What
sir?
up? I'm good, man. You're just gonna bring me in right after that?
Yeah, sure, why not? Let's
That
do
was-
it.
All right. Well, then let me give you the obligatory kudos for that.
Thank you.
That fucking riff, bro. It's familiar. I know it's
It
new
is.
music to everybody else, but that I'm fucking
That wasn't
with that, bro.
that wasn't supposed to be the first track that we put out, but it's been a part of this show for long enough, and enough people have been like, for those that don't recognize it, there's the alternate intro that I do for like interviews and stuff like that. That has that song as like the main background track. It's been that way for a couple years now. Like this album, like I said, we wrote like 5 freaking years ago. And we decided to go and put it out because I've had quite a few people asking, well, what is that intro song? I would like to know what that is. And I'm like, yeah, I wish I could share it with you too. But
That
I
song's one of my earliest Smotz memories when you put together that Conspiratarians Unite thing.
Oh, yeah?
From our first episode. You put that on and it fucking has got me hype ever since then, bro. And look,
Nice.
you got to take your forearm tattoos for a test drive through that whole thing. Yeah, fucking crushed
Thanks,
it, bro.
Dad.
You and your boys. It's a good, really good video. Great jam. I'm glad you guys are fucking having fun. And, can't wait to hear more, bro.
Yeah, and I mean that band, we were together in high school. Like we have been together for over a decade, and we
Story
all
of the year vibes. You ever heard that story? Of the
yeah.
year?
Yeah, we used to
Yeah.
get that back in the day.
Good
It's
band.
been a long
Good
time.
guy.
Like we've been pretty much inactive. We never broke up. We just weren't doing much other than writing here and there. But we've all like had a bunch of kids and become dads and shit, and all have careers and stuff now. So you know, this album has just been like slow burn at actually putting it out. And once it was done though, like there was a part of me that was like, man, I used to have to do all the booking and all the merch and all the everything back in the day. I know I'm
Right.
the vocalist, so I don't really have that much to complain about, but I don't have time
Yeah,
to set
you're
up
not carrying
shows.
shit.
Right.
Stop complaining.
I don't have time to set up shows and stuff right now. But all due respect to the rest of the guys, like have a lot going on, and as soon as this album wrapped, they were like, "All right, when's the release show?" And they set it up. We've got June 3rd at Skylark here in the Quad Cities, and it's like a sweet old church venue, like stained glass windows and shit, and they got food truck and bar coming in. We've got like
You're
our
gonna
drummer.
film the fuck out of that, aren't you? You're gonna get some nice footage inside there. You're
I'm
already
hoping
planning it
to.
out.
I'll have to
Yeah, I
find
know you
somebody
are.
to film it, but yes. But yeah, and our like even our careers, it's so strange to get back into it now because like I do video full time now. Our drummer does DJ stuff, so he's got all the sound shit. Our guitar player and our bassist both do like studio work and stuff, and our bass player also does like coding and things. So like everything is merging at a very strange
what it
time, and
reminds
everybody's
me of?
bringing something to the table now.
It reminds me kind of like how only old guys who are like too old to get hot chicks can get nice cars. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like you guys like have all the tools possibly that you could, everybody is like have all the talent and everything you could possibly need. But yeah, you're all dads.
Yes, we are, and that's okay because Dad should still pursue passion.
It's the best. That's what I'm saying. That's how you really know that you guys are legit because you still are. I mean,
We're still
doing
playing it for 0 people. We'll still do it. That's how you know we're legit, regardless of not
serious.
having a fan base. We're still doing
No,
it.
bro. Yeah, I mean, fame could still come to you guys. I'm not saying that's not, and the
I don't care.
Libertarian Party could get a president in 2024 too. But
Yeah.
that's not how we measure shit around here, right? We keep
Right.
it real and we do what we love and we make art. That's it.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's like there's something inside of you that has to come out, and you can squash it down because it doesn't bring any monetary value to your life. But or you could just put it out and see what happens. And I'm going for the latter route, and I think more people need to do that. But it is weird to have I don't know, like a lot of my lyrics are like very introspective. Some might say emo, spiritual, like even the stuff on this album is stuff that I don't necessarily believe now. Like that song is very God angsty, and I don't necessarily feel that way anymore. But at the same time, it's like, 5 years of growth, I would hope to not feel exactly the same way as I did when I wrote that. But that doesn't make what I wrote any less true, and I stand by every single word of it. So, get the angst out, and the payoff perhaps in another album that's already in the works down the line, maybe 10 or 12 years from now. It'll mean a lot more. But it's been fun. It's been fun getting back into it. We've got together and practiced a couple times lately, and completely different vibe when you have like a goal, when you're like getting together for a purpose rather than just getting together to, drink and pretend like you still know how to play your songs.
Sure.
It's been good. It's been productive, and it's been a good fun outlet. Dave, you working on anything? You got any new music coming out?
Bro,
Do it.
No, but we need to put together our 5-song hip hop EP for the 2024, just the soundtrack for 2024. That should definitely hit the streets early 2024. But that aside, no,
make
man.
it all campaign songs about whatever's happening. Who knows where the hell we'll be by next year, but whatever's happening in the campaign shit show. Just write 5-track album of that.
Yeah, you were the first. That Freedom or Die was the first piece of music that I had fucked around with in years. So
nice.
No, bro. But I did have a great podcast the other night. We exposed the shit out of this chick. You guys need to go check it out after the show. A monster of a human being, and we're gonna set a precedent.
Like in a good way. Like this, this dude's a monster, or like this bitch is a monster.
Bitch is a literal potbelly goblin demon, and she needs to be dealt with.
I haven't
non-aggression principle.
I think I saw some of your clips or something. But give just kind of the gist because I haven't caught the episodes yet.
Yeah, you guys got to check this out. It's called The War on Children Part 2. We did a sequel because it's so awful. I had no idea how bad this was getting, but every time you see somebody arguing for trans kids' right to health care, that means that they probably want to at least give that kid puberty blockers, maybe even do some kind of surgeries and stuff. Look into what the Boston Children's Hospital is doing. It's fucking disgusting. Penile inversions and stuff like that. But yeah, this person is an elected official in Delaware named Deshauna Neal. She has 4 kids. 3 of them are LGBTQ plus.
What are the odds?
And 2 are trans girls. 2
Wow,
trans. I don't know what
what
the math
are
is,
the
but I think
odds?
it's bro, next to impossible, if not that. And she set precedent here in the state by getting them to pay for her child's the transition, like the chemical transition through Medicaid. So my tax dollars, everybody in Delaware is going towards this while she sits in legislative hall and comes up with creative ways to govern me. So it's triggered me unlike anything else. So you should go check out that episode and expose this bitch.
I will do that. I will go check out that episode. I will do it probably on my trip tomorrow because I am leaving tomorrow for the Libertarian Party Convention of Florida. I don't have my graphic here. I should pull that up. It's the last chance I'll have to get to use it. Tomorrow, I'm going to. It's not going to work. Okay. Libertarian Party, LPF Con. Yes. If you're in the Florida area and, within driving distance of LPF Con, please come out, hang out, have some drinks, and Saturday morning I will be giving my speech. They booked me for, I think it's 7 a.m. Saturday morning at a libertarian convention. Like, fuck
Don't
you
they know
guys.
you at all, bro?
I mean, I'm gonna make the most of it, and I'll make them regret it in one way or another. So if you're there, come out, wake up, don't get too drunk Friday night, or set your alarm for like 5 on Saturday, so that you can wake up and come out to the breakfast, where I yell at you about, who knows, maybe trans stuff all morning. Because if you book me that early, you might get some spicy topics. Speaking of all these things, and again, nothing that I say on this podcast is a reflection of the band whose song we just played. But speaking of music, let's talk about our boy, or not boy, our many thems. Mr. Sam Smith is back at it. Again, to recap, I was a big Sam Smith fan, but there is a line for me. Not even
big fat bitch tits.
Yeah. Even if this wasn't like grotesque, there's a line for me just on an artist that I'm willing to take seriously. Like, who is taking this seriously? As it looks like he got this shit from Party City. He's got like a big plastic. But like this doesn't look eerie or spooky. This isn't like Marilyn Manson Edge or anything. This is like just fucking gross and dorky. Yeah. At best.
Yeah. I hate it.
Well, I know.
And that part is insulting, but yeah, the part that more insulting than the cheesy costume is the overarching theme that big stupid dude, you're a fat ugly guy. Like you shouldn't be pretending to be like good, don't come out and pretend you're good looking, or like ugly people shouldn't be able to do that. I'm on Forrest Mommy's tip. Like,
are you calling for government restrictions on ugliness?
Yeah,
regulation
until we work this thing out. Just until
till we get our shit in order, at least until
we get it in order.
Until this isn't the norm.
I'm willing to bet, by the way, that there is definitely there's a connection between when your soul is dog shit, it exudes out, and you'll. That's why most of these fucking rainbow activists are fucking hideous mutants. You know what I mean? Like, you start there. Your soul is dog shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like anybody who is forcing views or demanding views, that is, I don't know. Like, I try to play as. It's funny because like I'm like the conspiracy guy or whatever, people think of me that way, but I'm just like, yeah, even if you take the sexuality and the Satan aspect out of it, it's still like giving all benefit of the doubt, there is nothing appealing about what this guy is doing. So from just a normie perspective, what are you guys doing? Like, what is appealing about a fat man in pasties and a thong dancing and flicking his tongue at you on stage?
Yeah, and that's who buys this stuff, right? Normies like this stuff. Like, this is top 40.
Because they feel like they have to, because it's mandatory. It's, yeah.
Right. Maybe they're doing this is like social justice. Like since he is a non-binary fucking walrus, they have to go, oh, it's beautiful. It's really great what he's doing out there. Like, no matter what, you just have to say it's part of the affirmation.
It's almost like they're trying. It's not like it was Sam Smith's idea to do this. I'm convinced that it's not. Like there's some sort of agenda, some marketing scheme at best. And like, it's almost like they're trying to force you to accept lies. Like, force you to believe the inverse, as we've talked about many times on this show. Just this person is beautiful. This person is not just a person; it's a they, and like it's glorifying to humanity to worship Satan on stage and dance around in like it's challenging people to say the truth. Like it's saying you're not gonna say the obvious thing here, are you? You're going to go along with the acceptable opinion, which is that this is beautiful and everything that this man does or these people do is good. Like, that's the spiritual side for me, is like just forcing people to accept lies, and everybody's just too afraid to point out the literal elephant in the room as he dances and twerks on stage.
This is all for training, bro. They're getting us ready because we're all going to have to affirm the AI. We're all going to have to say that it's a sentient being and it's cool and it has all the rights that we do.
You don't hurt its feelings.
Yeah, don't do exactly. Don't bully the AI. You can't bully the AI.
Do you know AI suicide
and it's everywhere,
rates?
So. You have any idea the rates? Yeah, exactly. So that's what it's all coming down to. You have to suspend truth, and we got to do it. Like Yuri said, over a generation, and then at the end of it, you'll get the big prize.
Amen. The big goal. Speaking of big goals and gay people and all sorts of fun things, we do have to get an update. I need a stinger, a Joe Exotic stinger for whenever we bring him up, because I have a feeling he's going to keep coming up the more he keeps talking. But somebody might be.
I
Jack
would literally
Casey.
rather hear about fucking Prince Harry's mom's.
Hold up.
Wait a second. I have that.
I do. I keep that one on hand for all occasions that it will arise to be needed. Where'd it go?
It's cool.
You brought this on yourself.
My penis was oscillating between extremely sensitive and borderline traumatized. The last place I wanted to be was Frostnipistan. I'd been trying some home remedies, including one recommended by a friend. She'd urged me to apply Elizabeth Arden cream. My mum used that on her lips. You want me to put that on my todger? It works, Harry. Trust me. I found a tube, and the minute I opened it, the smell transported me through time. I felt as if my mother was right there in the room. Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
You brought this on yourself. Now that we got Dave's fetish out of the way, let's talk about my fetish of Joe Exotic, who came out this week and said, I have a transgender writing my policy, and she agrees that no one under 18 should be thinking about changing. She also agrees she don't belong in women's sports. Then he says, just for the record, a woman has a vagina. A man has a penis. A man cannot get pregnant, and I don't care how many surgeries you have. You are still inside the sex you were born. That's my policy. That is quite a policy, sir. How do you put that into legislation?
Oh man, this is just simple dinner table topics. You can just everyone.
He might have a shot. He might have a shot at this point. Maybe just say the
best thing I've seen him say regarding his presidency potential. So far, this is the best one. Boys have penis, girls have vagina. Yes, somebody needs to say it.
The fact that is not an acceptable thing to say out loud now. It's like, we're done, you guys. We're done here. If
you made him
look
like
crossing
the
the
smart
line.
guy in the room, then you're
right. You guys made Joe Exotic look like a smart man as he holds a banana in this meme. When you're right, man. And I don't know. Like,
he's on the right side of history. That's
now,
undeniable.
Let's get to the update on the rankings for you. If you had to vote on anybody who's announced right now, who would you vote for? Would it be RFK?
RFK just announced right before we got on, I think, like officially.
Oh, nice.
And absolutely. I love that. If we could have, I saw Lauren Witzke talking about it. She's just excited, like, oh, this guy's, he's great on X, Y, and Z. I saw Clint Russell talking about, hey man, this guy's better than any Democrat. So yeah, I my slogan for that is make the Democratic Party less malevolent again. Like if they don't
Well,
want
that's a
to
little
line
bit
you-
long.
Yeah, how about just make Democrats less evil? How about you get 4 words there, right? So
Make
if they
Democrats suck less.
dude, if they don't want to put you up against the wall, then we're in good shape. Like I can't
It's a start.
overemphasize how much better for human liberty it would be to get a half decent Democrat in office rather than or even attempt to do that. That's so much better than like any below average libertarian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me. And I'll debate that with anybody, but yeah, so I'm definitely leaning there.
Now RFK drops out tomorrow. Who do you vote for?
Right now, I would probably vote no to or write in Ron Paul.
Come
Right now,
on.
I'm so
No,
I'm
gun to
I'm
your
in-
head. You have to vote for somebody. You can say Joe Exotic. It's okay.
Are you on the ticket yet? Because you'd be my favorite libertarian on the ticket.
Nice
But
cop
no,
out. No.
You know what, dude? Chase Oliver. Even though that guy hates me, I am not a fan of that guy. He's gay.
I mean, Joe Exotic is
Yay,
just
rainbow. He'd
like
probably
Chase
get the most
Oliver
votes.
times 1,000. Like, he's gayer than Chase Oliver. He's more belligerent. He's
No,
more
I
middle
can't-
fingers.
I can't co-sign that. I know the middle finger is important to you. I'll figure out other ways to say
Look, I'm not
fuck you.
voting for Joe Exotic. I'm just going to convince Dave by the end of this election cycle to vote for Joe
That's
Exotic.
the best thing we could possibly do. Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm just
I
going to
know.
break Dave. That's my only goal with this thing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, the title of this episode is New Music and You Will Never Be Fake Enough. And the reason why I titled it You Will Never Be Fake Enough is because you won't. You will not ever appease the angry mobs of people that are insisting that you be fake, that you believe lies. You will never believe enough lies to be acceptable. There will always be another lie. If you accept lie number 1, then they'll push you to number 2 and then number 3 until everything's bullshit. First case in point, or another case in point, from HuffPost.com, so you know it's legit. Sandra Bullock admits she isn't as woke as she thought parenting two black kids. So Sandra Bullock has 2 black kids, and she's
Buyer's
not
remorse?
good enough.
I'm putting these kids back in my shopping cart.
oh dear.
You know what? I don't know. Angelina did not. I don't know,
Does
look better when
Wayfair
she
accept
did it.
donations?
Yeah, I know I'm going to get like 30%, but whatever.
As soon as you drive them off the lot, I mean, they lose like 30% of the value.
Depreciation.
All right. Child trafficking jokes aside, let's talk about Sandra Bullock's 2 adopted children. Quote, I have to think about what they're going to experience leaving the home. So, let's see. There's more story here than there needs to be. Bullock told a story around the 11:30 mark in this video about her young daughter left a room depressed after catching a few moments of the South Korean Netflix series Squid Games, while Bullock's partner, Brian Randall, Sandra Bullock is married to a man named Brian Randall. I don't know why, but if he's, never mind.
Yeah, you think that would have been a deal breaker for her?
Yeah.
Just the name alone.
Brian Randall. No wonder why she didn't take his last name. Bullock said that when she asked her daughter why she was so upset by the show, she assumed it was because of its violence, but Bullock was surprised by her daughter's response. I don't want Dad to watch that because there's no black people in it. In a South Korean Netflix series called Squid Game, there is not enough black people for Sandra Bullock's adopted black daughter of oppression. Continued quote: the fact that was fire in her belly made me so happy that she was already voicing. Bullock said, I let my kids teach me and tell me what they need to know. I thought I was educated and woke. I thought I had it all. I guess. And guess what? I wasn't. So, yep. This is where we're at.
Dumb bitch. What an idiot.
How many
See,
black
this is-
people were you expecting to see in a South Korean show?
Right.
How many black people are there? I don't know. Seems like they probably have a mostly South Korean audience and South Korean cast, and it's all in Korean. I don't. If my daughter came through the room and was like depressed because there wasn't enough black people on a South Korean show, I'd be like, that's a really stupid thing to be depressed about, honey. Why would you care about the level of diversity in a South Korean show about murder? About murder.
Bro, this is the UN equitable equality rainbow tagline. That if there isn't, I was listening to Tom Woods. I can't even remember the lady's name, but it's probably his newest episode, and she was talking about how, like, if no matter what it is, if there's not 13% representation of black people in your product, your institution, your company, your nonprofit, your TV show, whatever, then it's racist, right? So by definition, Europe in 1600 was racist because there was no black people there, right?
Yep.
And the opera is racist because there might not be anybody, you know what I mean? Like, that's just...
And any culture any white culture from history was racist because they just weren't black.
Right. And now, like she's saying, like, museums and places of culture, shit is getting like asterisks next to it. It's like, well, yeah, great artist and everything, Rembrandt, but known racist. It's
Right.
like, it's really fucked up, man.
Yep. We're not allowed to enjoy things anymore. And I didn't have this pulled up initially, but I just feel like it ties into this and the next couple articles just well enough that we're gonna hear some of the latest leftist comedy.
Please don't take offense to when I say this, but dear white people, okay? If somebody calls you racist, that does not mean you are a bad person. It means you benefit from this system. So the next time somebody calls you racist, this is what you do. Say thank you. Okay? Stop getting upset when somebody calls you racist. It is a compliment. When somebody says that you're racist, that means that you're benefiting from the system. Ask them if they want $1. Thank you. Do you need $1, my of-color friend? That's all you do. That's all you do. Maybe then they were like, you know what? This motherfucker might not be racist. Okay?
Kind of looks trans. I wasn't quite sure. I'm still not quite sure. Kind of looks like a biological man, but I mean, the sense of humor leads me to believe that it's definitely a woman. So, either you transitioned everything, or
right,
or you're
which we know the science doesn't follow you. So,
right.
Yeah, and what is this? It's like there's like a volleyball. Like
it's like man abs. Man abs, I'm pretty sure is what that is.
Right.
I don't know, but what do you think? I would say, like, this individual, I'm going to say, says if it's not an insult to be called a racist, you should just accept it. It's not an insult. It's just what it is. I disagree. Like, I'm the type of person that thinks, like, racism is bad. So, like, assuming that somebody is a racist based on their skin color, that's racism and that's bad. And also, if somebody calls you a racist, that's not ideal either, because racism, I think, this might be a little controversial, but I think racism is bad.
But did she say racist or white supremacist?
She said racist, I believe.
Okay, I thought it was okay. Maybe it's just, if it's just racist, you're right. I thought she said white supremacist in the beginning.
But dear white people, okay? If somebody calls you racist,
yeah, it's racist.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah, there's no way around that.
Yep. I don't know. Like, so much of this type of comedy is just like, hey, what's a stupid, like, a thing that I can say that is edgy enough that it will, people will feel like they have to accept it. Like, because of who I am, perhaps how I look, they don't have a choice but to accept this, and it'll make them uncomfortable enough that they will find it humorous. Who is going to this show?
Yeah, I mean,
who's paying to be called a racist by somebody on stage?
Well, that's the white pill, right? Like, there was not a lot of people in that audience that were laughing at that stuff.
Right.
So that's good, because it wasn't funny. Like, it It was
Yeah.
more awkward because like she was kind of bombing with that. I mean, really, even the dear white people, like I heard that's so 2000 and late, girl.
Right.
I don't know, like what you seriously. That's not taking somebody else's shit. I think that was a Netflix comedy. You know what I mean? Like many years ago.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
So
yeah.
you need to go get that belly of yours looked at. Take care of that.
Or just dress better. I don't know.
Yeah, do something. Work out your wardrobe. Work out some new material. Be less racist, and come back again. And
Yeah.
I don't hate you. We can be friends.
That's right.
But that
Amen.
sucked. That was a bad act. You should come
Yeah.
back and
You suck, but it's all good. There's a lot of shitty comedians out there. Anyway, more stuff. So we've talked about like people's outrage for the Little Mermaid being black and all the race swapping and gender swapping in Hollywood and this and that. And it's always been in one direction of like typically taking a white character, making them black, not making a new black character and making them great, but just taking something and recycling it and slapping a black person into the role. I was going to say blackface on it. I think that only applies to the cartoons, but still. Now, this one is kind of strange because it is another of the reverse. It's like just the wokeness shifts back and forth with the wind because now we've got Lilo and Stitch, a live action remake that Disney is doing for God only knows why, since that movie just came out like 10 years ago or something. Lilo and Stitch is getting a live action remake, and fans are slamming the casting of light-skinned Hawaiian actress in live action remake. So I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's, so this is a person, a Hawaiian individual. It's not like what would typically be referred to as a white person, but her skin is lighter than the cartoon character, so this is racist also. And this is back to the whitewashing that came before the blackwashing. And it would be great if we could all just stop rebooting things, stop remaking things. If we actually had a creative bone in our body, we wouldn't be arguing over whether or not this character is being handled correctly or incorrectly, because we'd be making new characters that are black characters and white characters and gay characters, and nobody would care because it's not changing a thing that they loved. It's just making a thing. We can't do that anymore because everybody sucks. Dave, your thoughts?
Oh, man, I try not to think about this. I didn't even hear about this, to be perfectly honest with you.
Good. Sorry.
I do find no, it's good.
You're gonna hate the next half hour.
Right. What else can we gossip about? No, I think that's shocking, honestly, that because it does seem like the trend is the opposite way.
Right.
But kids, as the resident old guy, back in the 90s, you see, and in the 80s, if there was going to be a person of color in the movies, TV shows, she always had Caucasian features. Mrs. Huxtable, Halle Berry,
Sure.
I don't know, Vanessa Williams, they all they would not tolerate dark-skinned people back in the day. So, it's all good. The press secretaries, beautiful, like black as a motherfucker. It's everywhere these days.
Dumb as a box of rocks, but yeah.
She really is. I would like to see her and Kaylee McElhaney and do some McEnany, whatever they are. I think.
What about Jen Psaki? Is she just watching in the corner in your fantasy?
She can fuck right off. She's disgusting.
Not into the gingers, huh?
No, I'm not even gonna. She personally is. I'm not gonna throw all gingers in there, but no, she's gross. I'm sorry, I lost my track. I was thinking about those Ebony and Ivory.
Got off track. Let's bring you back on track with this next one. It's people urge Lilo and Stitch live action movie to be canceled after the male actor is also not quite dark enough.
Yeah, these people don't look Hawaiian. They do look like listen, this is what a studio would try and do though, is like,
so don't make it
somebody who doesn't look like any nationality, right? Just a blend. This is what the UN's doing. They want everybody on earth to look like that guy on the left, bro.
Right.
Just like this kind of like melding cultureless, like genderless world of people that look like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like when there's characters in, there is something to like the artistic nature of it. And I don't mean by skin color, but maybe like their physical appearance where you would want it to, like the cartoon doesn't necessarily translate the same into live action, where like this cartoon character has very wide set eyes that would make them look like an alien if you had a human that looked like that in real life. Like we don't have to make it exactly the same.
Has that chick? They're making
That's true.
memes all. of her all over the place. She's got definitely wide set eyes, but she's light skinned too. I'm just
Sure.
saying, these characters in this, if you're going to get upset about this kind of stuff and you're making a movie about, I've never seen Lilo and Stitch,
What?
but
Come on, man. How
but
old
look,
are
that
you?
guy's, bro, I told you,
It's a
I'm old as a
classic.
motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. That guy, but that guy is dark as shit. Like, and he looks like he's, I don't know, like a native islander. That
Yeah.
guy on the left is not. So if you're gonna like, this is like how they used to do. So it is kind of a throwback and weird for Disney. You know what I mean? When they're seemingly going the opposite direction.
It's just, it's my biggest complaint again is that none of this should fucking matter, because we shouldn't be remaking Lilo and Stitch. Like,
Nah.
we should be making new things, and they can't. They're creatively bankrupt on every level because they're not real. They are not in this for making art. They're in this for making money and billions and billions of dollars and pushing agendas.
Right. That's why they love IP. And as libertarians, we should smash that paradigm. They don't have to be creative. It's the best thing for a corporation. They're not going to, dude, there's never going to be another Good Will Hunting where two dudes write a script and it, makes $1 billion and wins an Oscar. That's never going to happen again, because it's only, they have to make $500 million or $1 billion to make a movie, and it's got to be a spectacle and all this shit.
How many, I don't know, blockbuster creator, director people that are just making unique things are there's like Christopher Nolan, and is that it? I don't know. Like, it seems like everything, like when Christopher Nolan's releasing something, people are like, oh, or even M. Night Shyamalan. I know he's done some shitty, like, stinker movies, but he's at least making his own weird things that aren't just expanded universes. How many
All these
directors do
guys
we even
came
have
from
now?
these guys still came from like a culture before now, so they
Yeah.
kind of maybe have a little bit of room to play with. But like,
It
yeah,
was
I would
such
say,
the standard, though. It's weird to think back on a time where a movie was coming out that you had never heard of or never like even thought of this concept. Because now it's just like, here, that thing you like. Here's more of that thing you like. Here you go. Like, I was listening to a clip from Mark Claire and Remzo Martinez's Second Print Comics podcast the other day, and even they're comic book nerds hardcore from back in the day, and they're like, I'm getting real sick of all this shit. Like, just the oversaturation, the lack of creativity, the lack of anything new. It's just, even the hardcore fans, like the Mandalorian new season of Star Wars, I'm a couple episodes behind because I don't care anymore, because it's nothing new. They're not doing anything unique or exciting. And I don't know. We need more. That's why we need more emo music and throws back to 2000s, because that's my reboot.
yeah, if they're not going to give it, you got to make your own stuff, dude. I mean, the up until the end game, Marvel. I love these comics growing up, man. Love that
Yeah.
shit. I love these stories, and I thought they did a great job. Even Disney, up until a certain point, I would go, me, my girl, we'd grab a couple friends, and like make, every time a Marvel movie would come out, we'd go watch it and have a good time. Oh, that one was great. That one was not so great. Whatever. We'd still go though, and
Yeah.
when we weren't being indoctrinated. But there was a definite switch. I don't know. The ESG got turned on.
Right.
And I don't go see shit. I'm not vocal. I'm like, not like these conservatives with Bud Light, but like, I just don't go. I'll wait till it comes out, and I'll go watch it later on, but I'm not going to like, go do the popcorn and spend this kind of energy and resources on that.
It becomes political. Once they turn it into a politics thing, then it zaps all the joy within like a year. Like, all the joy is, as soon as the studios come out and they I don't know, they push political points, and so the political points get pushed back, and then it becomes a political debate rather than a, hey, did they make this true to the IP, true to the resource material? Is this the thing that we love? No, it's like Disney is insulting their fan base as racists for not liking that they changed a thing, and it's so boring. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, and not like this is the most important thing. Like, again, we're just talking about entertainment here, but propaganda. But I think it was Scorsese or somebody said like Chris Evans wasn't known for being a famous actor because he was a great actor. Like, Captain America was the draw, right? Like, to that movie. So people are going to go no matter what. Whereas like that is an inversion of the way it used to be. Like, Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger would just sell you on a movie of a new action story.
There weren't fans of the Rocky comic books.
I was looking at, they throw you those things and I get them because I'm old. The nostalgia, toys from the 80s or something like that, like on Facebook.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll go back, I was born in the 80s, but in the 70s, they would have in the 80s, we got all the stuff, all the IP, He-Man, all that shit. In the 70s, bro, the toys were just like, Army Man. Check
Right.
this out, or like Karate Guy, and you could
Right.
just get.
I mean,
No
Barbie
idea.
was
Like,
just
anybody can
woman
shit.
with outfits.
Right. So Mattel was probably on some shit. In fact, Mattel, I think, might have made He-Man and all those action figures, and then
Right.
the corporation started figuring out, like, wait a second.
So He-Man
With Star
Masters of
Wars,
the
we'll
Universe
make toys.
came out before the show, right? It was a toy first, wasn't it?
Yeah, and dude, there were laws in place.
And they came up
then
with
where
He-Man,
you
just
couldn't-
buff guy named He-Man. Go.
He-Man.
It's brilliant.
But you couldn't advertise to kids like on those shows to sell the toys. Like that was illegal up until that point. And He-Man was the motherfucker that got that thrown out. So then everything became the toys. George Lucas figured that early on, right? Fox never gave away the IP ever again after that because they gave him $20 billion in toys, right?
Yep.
So that's where they're at. That's why that's their focus.
Yes. It's fascinating to watch, like just the societal change and everything and how rapidly it's shifting. But speaking of plastics and toys and bad hacky things from old, we're going to talk about Madonna in just a minute. But before we do, let's talk about Jack Casey. Today's show is sponsored by libertarian conspiratorial fantasy author Jack Casey. Whether you're looking for a 3-book fantasy sci-fi epic of love, death, and dystopian civil war like the Royal Green series, or just looking for a quick, dark, comedic, cultural commentary tale about a transsexual slayer of COVID regime vampires, like his latest book, WVW, Jack Casey Books will keep you adequately entertained and pondering the universe to your weird little heart's content. He's the Ayn Rand meets Stephanie Meyer meets somebody who actually writes entertaining books with his own unique little downer-esque flair. Find out more about Jack Casey Books at the aptly named jackcaseybooks.com. Once again, that is jackcaseybooks.com. We live in a new age, and it's time for us to upgrade our tinfoil hats. Operation Tinfoil is a freedom-focused small business and trusted sponsor of this show. Their super comfortable new line of beanies and baseball caps will not only crown your skull in style, but each of these dome defenders is lined with a silver mesh that blocks up to 99% of EMF radiation from cell phone towers, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and yes, even 5G. We don't know what EMF radiation does to the brain long term, but neither do they, so don't be their guinea pig and don't wait around to find out. Get your stylish tinfoil hat of the future today at gettinfoil.com. Use the promo code SYSTEM for $10 off your order. Again, that's gettinfoil.com. Use the promo code SYSTEM for $10 off your order. And we're back. Dave, how was your break? Dave's muted. Showing signs
I don't
of
really
age
consider
again.
that a break. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I hit the pipe once. It's 4:20 tomorrow, so I'm getting a head start.
Yes. I'm going to be flying and hanging out with CD and Duke tomorrow night, so that'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
Excellent. And Mike Termott blazing that shit up
Hell
all
yeah.
fucking day long. Yep.
I'd smoke one with Mike Termott. I'm not scared of his cop history. I've smoked with Adam Nutter too, so I'm comfortable with the cops. It's all good. Yeah. By the way, fake super chats in the fake super chat. Drop them in the fake super chats, and you know the drill. I'm pretty sure there's not too many new people here, but if you are new, I can't take super chats, so put in all caps fake super chat if you have something that you want me to read and or make fun of, and you might not have a choice which one I do. Now, again, speaking of plastic nonsense, let's talk about Madonna, because Madonna, according to NewYorkPost.com, it's legit. Madonna is desperate to return to her natural face ahead of world tour. So we all remember the goat of the apocalypse. This was at one of the award ceremonies. I don't remember. I don't care. But just Madonna showing up looking like Jigsaw's clown puppet, and a combination of that and just Beelzebub incarnate. And I assume that it was intentional because she's always had kind of a anti-Christ persona about her, not by accident. It was, part of her shtick. And so I was like, oh, she's going for just like we've just jumped the shark into hideous beast territory where that is going to become like the beauty standard now of just, I mean, in a lot of ways it has, but Madonna leading the charge on just abandon all sense of beauty, and you will be forced to accept this as beautiful. And she tried it. She tried hard. She tried blaming it on ageism and saying everybody just doesn't like Madonna because she's old. I'm sorry, old people don't look like this, Madonna. This is you looking like a plastic demon figure, and it has nothing to do with your age. This is you, at best, running away from your age and failing miserably at it. And now she's sad and wants it back. And I think this says a lot about where we're at now. And this should be, I don't know, maybe some sort of warning to people who think that surgeries solve problems always. Maybe in children, maybe in teens. It seems like a lot of people tend to regret those surgeries, be them boob jobs or anti-boob jobs. But Dave, you got any thoughts on Madonna and her depression and her just regret for deciding to look like Satan for probably thousands of dollars?
Dude, you know me. I'm always trying to look for the microcosm, right? I think that there's like the connecting line, like between searching for the fountain of youth and the ultimate embracing of like nihilism or the devil or whatever you want to call it, is totally linked. Like the from the adrenochrome shit and anything that you might hear in that's real or not, you know, the quest to not die, the quest to for you to outlive everybody, or
quest to be God, to be a God,
right? To not to spend your whole life godless, like not, you know, outside of nature,
clinging to self and ego.
Right. And dude, and before all her sex stuff with the cone titties, we're talking about material girl, you know, like just consumption, do what thou wilt, shop, but jewels, all the shit. It's all the devil, not just the actual, like, now she's wearing it on her sleeves, just like fucking
she's
Sam
wearing
Smith,
it on her
right?
face.
Oh, it's disgusting. But again, like her soul has always been dog shit.
Yeah.
So that's why she's finally exposing herself as the true pot-bellied demon she is.
This is a picture from I think this is like 10 years ago or 2004. So it's been a bit, but, you know, that does not look just, what are we at? What would that be? 19 years ago? That to this, like not even same person at all. Not even identical. Right. Like
you can be 45 and hot. You know, she's probably that 45 or whatever there. And, you know, maybe has only had a little bit of work, but you always think you can get away with it. There's probably Disney stories about this, right? The vanity in the mirror and all that shit. But this is her whole life, you know, trying to be like an object, a sex object. And that's what she's embraced. Yeah, and then look how that backfires.
The quest
like
for
late
for perfection, yes, and ego is like, if you knew Madonna personally, I feel like if I knew her personally and she was a good friend of mine, and I knew her as this, and then I didn't see her for maybe a couple years and came back and she looked like this, I would not even remotely recognize her. Like, it doesn't look like the same species, let alone the same person.
It's terrifying.
Yes,
it's got to be some kind of dysphoria. Like, what is it that you see yourself, like, you know, Michael Jackson thought that he was doing himself right when he was doing all that shit. I don't
carve it all up until you find find God within the shaving off of yourself.
That's so sad, because all the talent, all the money, all the, you know, like you could do whatever. I don't know, he didn't seem like a Satanist to me, but
who, Michael Jackson?
Yeah, he seemed, you know, I'm not sure about all that stuff. But he definitely didn't, he didn't, nihilism was not exuding from Michael Jackson.
Right.
You know?
He very well could have, and a lot of people seem to believe he had, you know, some very dark sides to him, and I wouldn't be surprised. He was clearly a mentally broken individual too, so it's hard to even know. I don't know. I'm not giving him a pass, certainly, but he was not, I don't know, did not have the Madonna spirit, the angry, dark, like, hail Satan spirit. I don't know. Maybe he did. Who knows? He was part of the machine anyway. I do like the theory. I don't know if you've looked into it at all, but the Michael Jackson faked his death theory and came back as a burn victim who was like a good friend of Michael Jackson's. There's a lot to it. It's actually kind of creepy. And
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
that sounds great.
like a friend of Michael Jackson's who was like this burn victim, had like these scars all over his face, is barely recognizable, but talks exactly like Michael Jackson. Like emerged right around his death, and like there's a shot of Michael Jackson's corpse being flown away in the helicopter, and the doors open and the body sits up. Like there's some weird shit. I miss those days of the conspiracy dig, and I do think it's possible. Like if I was Michael Jackson, I'd be like, especially if he didn't do all the things that he was alleged of doing, I would have faked my own death a long time before that. Like he had a miserable life of childhood, basically servitude to his father, and then became this guy who couldn't go anywhere without being mobbed. I don't know.
Yo, all the services that celebrities could get, like if you had the resources to like provide a service for celebrities to disappear them, wouldn't you do it?
Hell yeah.
I would do it.
Hell
Yeah, so that probably exists. The market provides. I would love that if
I think
Tupac
we need
and-
more celebrities faking their death and going off into
Yeah.
hiding. Like
Right,
you've,
get out of it.
you've,
I gotta
you've
get out of
had
this
your
thing.
time. You have all the money you could ever spend for the rest of your life. Maybe just shut the fuck up and go away.
Right. Enjoy your life.
Yeah.
No more paparazzi.
Like Dylan
Give me $1 billion.
Mulvaney. So, for this next stuff, we do have an update on the thing that nobody can stop talking about, which is beer, or Bud Light. Not quite beer, but they say it is. We've talked about this Dylan Mulvaney shit a bit, and the more it goes on, the more ridiculous I find it. But there is a part of me that enjoys watching it crumble before our eyes. Because it kind of is. They lost like $6 billion in 6 days after this campaign, and
That's Kanye money, bro.
right, the what is she? The CEO of Bud Light came out and gave like a interview where she basically said we're trying to get away from the douchey frat boy, I don't know, like immature humor vibes, and find a new audience, which. On the one hand, it's like, yes, I understand you trying to get a new audience. I don't really respect you pushing alcohol on a younger audience, but I understand that you don't want to be the what's up company for your entire existence. And since you just got there, it is your job to liven things up. I still don't understand why, A, you went straight to Dylan Mulvaney instead of, I don't know, any younger pop star. Even if I gave you the pass on trying to sell children alcohol, like there's so many options here, and you went from frat bro to like frat bro in a sports bra, I guess. I don't know. It's very strange marketing, but they have suffered for it so far, which is it's fun to see. Really, any probably evil corporation suffer for the wrongs that they certainly have done. But
Bro, the CEO of Bud Light is probably CIA. That's my guess. Because it's so dumb. It's so dumb, and it's ESG. It's the movie stuff we were just talking about, the Marvel shit, Star Wars stuff. Why do you hate your bread and butter that gave you all of your everything you have? The frat boy. You make cheap, shitty beer. Do you think? Oh, wait a second. Do you think there's an army of trans chicks out there that want your product, that you're just going to like tap into this market? You're fucking crazy.
Bud Light too.
They know that's not true.
Don't they have like Bud seltzers and stuff like that? If they did a Dylan Mulvaney Bud seltzer thing, do you think anybody would have gave a shit? The problem is that you're taking Dylan Mulvaney and putting him into like NASCAR frat bro, like whatever jock vibes, and then insulting them because they're your target demographic or have been for the last decades, and you're the one switching it up here. Maybe I don't know. How many Bud Lights do you really think Dylan Mulvaney even drinks? I doubt it's his drink of choice.
Bro, he hates that shit. You could in the commercial, you could tell. It's great.
Yes.
Yeah, he does not like it.
Love ya.
Nobody likes it. So it's all good. He's not playing beer pong. You know what I mean? That's the only reason to drink that crap. It's so dumb.
Yeah, there is a part of me that
maybe, bro, it's the bitch tit connection. That stuff probably grows you some little bitty Dylan titties.
You think there's
So
estrogen in Bud
that's
Light?
what-
Is that what you're saying?
Yep, it's that sauce.
I wouldn't be that
It's that train-
surprised. That
It's that
explains a
rainbow
couple things.
sauce.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I don't know. This goes back to the Disney thing too. It's like you can do stupid things and people can decide to or not to like it. And the real issue is whether or not you accept their displeasure in your marketing strategy. Like if you're doing something that's outside the norm, then you are taking a risk. You are taking a chance. And if people don't like that, calling them racists or homophobes or transphobes or whatever because of it, like maybe they just don't like your shitty marketing strategy. That doesn't make any logical sense. But in response to all this and their bleeding money dry, Budweiser decided to put out something a little closer to home.
Let me tell you.
Suppose I should probably pause this every 15 seconds or so because YouTube is an asshole and will probably give me a strike for playing this. Dear YouTube overlord people, I'm not taking credit for this terrible commercial. I don't want it. I just want to make fun of it. Please leave me the fuck alone. Also, that song at the beginning of the episode, that is my song. If you give me a copyright strike for it because it's up on iTunes now, I will fucking scream in your face. It will not be the first time, but here's Budweiser.
Story about a beer
Yes.
rooted in the heart of America.
Have you not seen this, Dave?
No, I instantly goosebumps, dude. Thank you for giving me just a normal fucking beer commercial. No, I haven't seen this, but so far so good.
No, I disagree with you, and we can argue about it.
Okay, great. America.
Found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract.
Fuck yeah.
Brewed for those who found opportunity.
You are correct in that this is totally a throwback beer commercial, but at this point, it's so fucking tone deaf to put this out and expect this to work.
Listen, Dan, I need this, okay? Can you just let this play so I can fucking...
I'm almost done. Just let it play.
Oh, God,
Challenge
so good.
and hope in tomorrow. Raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk,
Stop it, Dave.
Oh, God, so
You
fucking good,
propaganda, like you rail against the propaganda, but as soon as that beer commercial hits you, you're like, God damn, I could go for a Bud Light right now.
Look
I'm feeling
at that
feeling like a bitch.
majestic animal.
Running down the streets of St. Louis.
remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
Oh, I hate it so much. Tell me
I
why
just
you love
hate
it, Dave. Tell me.
Listen, first of all, the epic track, it was well made. Look, this is beautiful.
This is a story about a horse. That horse
man.
is real big and it likes beer. So America, an American spirit. This is a story bigger than beer. It's about getting drunk with your frat bros.
Don't get it twisted, bro. This beer fucking sucks too, and you shouldn't drink it. Probably gets you bigger bitch tits, right? And whoever's drinking this beer or watching this commercial, trust, they hate you just as much as they hate.
I'm not gonna lie, Budweiser and Bud Light were my crappy beer of choice. If I was at like a podunk
come on,
bar,
man.
if I was at a
Miller
podunk
High
bar
Life?
and they had, High Life maybe, but
Better.
I don't know.
You don't even get Yingling out there.
Around here, it's like Busch Light, Coors Light, or Bud Light, and I'm like, I guess Bud Light because they've got the better marketing. They had the better marketing. They had the better marketing. Now it's got
all such piss.
Dylan on it, so I can't buy it anymore.
Oh my God. But listen, in the same way that Ron DeSantis is no libertarian, but when he opened up Florida, people were like, oh my God, this is the best, this is just different than everything else that's coming out right now.
This is appeal to mundane oldness. It's nostalgia factor. And I wouldn't have a problem with this if it came out 2 weeks ago, but it comes out now. And to me, it screams of
Damage control?
desperation hardcore. Like, it's just like, hey guys, remember how we don't hate white people? You know how we're okay? Yeah, we like to see these good old boys. You see this horse?
Okay, so I don't trust Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch.
Oh,
I'm
it just
saying
makes me
I know
feel
what they're
dirtier than
doing.
Dylan Mulvaney watching this, because it's just like, give us our money back and drink beer.
Listen, bro, if I had a choice, if they make all Top Gun movies and fucking shit like that, or
Right.
Lilo and Stitch, it's going to be Top Gun. Like, you're going to get propagandized, right? But as somebody who fucking...
It doesn't have
Well,
to be
we're-
both. It doesn't have to be either, Dave. You
Oh,
can
you're
tell
getting
them that
both.
it sucks
You're getting
either
both.
way.
Well, okay, no, I'll say this then. This is 1,000 times better than watching Dylan Mulvaney in a tub.
Sure.
1,000 times. 1,000 times better. Maybe that's the grand experiment, dude. Because 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I would have said the same thing you're doing. Oh my God, we're watching this type of commercial 50 years in a row, doing the same thing, the same Clydesdale.
I don't
saying
know,
the
man.
same
It
shit.
seems
But
even
now I'm going,
less
oh, fucking
inspiring.
Trump 2024, baby. Give me it, put it in my veins. I need it. You know? That's the experiment. That's the fucking torture.
I feel like,
That's
you
the
know who I
NBA
feel like
Ultra.
would enjoy this ad more than Donald Trump? It's Joe Exotic.
You know, I might be coming around on that guy at this point. If he's, you know, whoever makes this commercial for Joe might have something.
If Joe Exotic and Budweiser team up for an anti-Mulvaney ad, would you come around on both of them?
Listen, dude, if you had this soundtrack and the same Clydesdale with Joe Exotic in the background going, listen, I like trans people, but vaginas are on women and penises are on men, then I would, like, it would, yes, this is all magical and I would be for it, and you could probably get me on board. We could maybe that's the hybrid, bro. We're not going to burn it down. We're going to make America something else. Not great again. Something
Gay
else.
again.
We're going to make Exotic super gay. We're going to make America super gay.
But like the
tigers.
good old gays, you know, back when it was fun and not sad all the time or angry.
Right.
Back when
Yeah.
gay was happy. Like,
Happy.
gay.
Make the gays happy again. That could probably be it.
Oh, I want to say a joke, but I'm not going to, because no. Now,
This show's not for jokes.
no, it's very serious.
Okay.
Speaking of which, there was another ad that came out this week, and this is the alternate. This is actually from the DC Shorts, and this is their version of the Budweiser ad.
Hey, it's us, Budweiser. We know you're pissed about that transsexual stuff, so we let this horse loose, and that's pretty funny. Americans like things that are funny. Look at these two guys. They think it's pretty funny that a horse is at a fire station. It doesn't belong at a fire station. It's a horse. What crazy adventures will the horse have in D.C.? We don't know. But shooting in D.C. is expensive, so we went back to this farm. Are these guys gay? We don't know. What we do know is that Americans love the horse. It's strong and has big hooves, and it can stomp around. Maybe it's scared of thunder. Aren't we all a little scared of thunder? No, because we're men. American men. We're not scared of anything. Budweiser. Beer for horsemen.
Yo, that's great. We should do one. Me and you should each voice that
yeah.
commercial. Play it next week. Because
As soon as I thought of this, I was like, man, like good on it. Like, it's such an easy one to do too, because there's like no real talking. Like, there's no mouths moving with talking. It's all just voiceover, so it would be a real easy one to parody. But yeah,
So good.
I feel like we should maybe start a competition for whoever can do the best one of these. Maybe we'll find the music track, so that all you have to do is put the music over the video and then talk over it, and then have people submit them. That'd be cool if anybody would.
I love it.
If you would do that, let us know. Otherwise, I'm not going to hype it and pretend like there's a bunch of people in my audience here that are like willing to call in at 309-716-3818 or listen to my songs or do those things. You guys aren't committed. That's what I'm saying. If you would like to do that, let's do it and submit them. You don't need my help either. You can just go do it yourself. I'll be in Florida chilling for 420. But this is, yeah, I agree with you, Dave. Yes, I would certainly prefer the throwback to everybody not being just degenerates on display. I would prefer that, but also that's fake too. It's just more acceptable fake to me, and I feel like you agree.
I do. I'm look. I even have a hard time with this because look, George W. Bush was like my political awakening. What an asshole! And it was all freedom fries, American flags, all this shit. It was so annoying.
Yeah.
So I totally get the sentiment. It's just that, like, if you have a government, do you want your government to tell boys that they are girls? Or do
No.
you want them to? Or do you want them to go through Rambo training? Fucking
Neither.
Rambo. Just do that. I know, but like I'm saying, if that's
If by
the
Rambo
binary-
training you mean get them involved in the military to go bomb
mean, like,
brown
look-
people, then no, neither.
Yeah, well, don't solicit military to kids. But I mean, but look, we got Rambo movies, we got Arnold
Right.
Schwarzenegger movies, we got all this American. It was the Cold War, right? Still in the '80s, so like maybe that's why they were ramping all that up. Dude,
Yeah.
Rocky IV probably, you haven't seen those fucking movies because
I haven't.
whatever. I know, we got to talk about that too. But that movie was greatly responsible, I think, for ending, the propaganda level of this stuff was so deep, global shit, dude. And we fought Russia in that movie and had a great victory. And a couple years later, they ended that shit. Not saying he's responsible. I'm just saying, like, this was the kind of build up America kind of shit we were getting for a long
Right.
time, and it was better.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I talk about like the moon landing, it's one of my favorite conspiracy theories to dig into, and it's because it's a positive conspiracy. Yes, it is the government lying to you. It's you being manipulated. It's you being propagandized and brainwashed to trust them and make you think that they're better than they are. But at the end of the day, the main goal, if that is the way that I suspect it was a morale booster for the time. It was a way of saying, rah, rah, America, and look at us, we did a thing. That wasn't hurting anybody either. It wasn't rah, rah, we're bombing brown people. It was rah, rah, we went to the moon. And it hurt nobody. It was a lie, but it was a unifying thing for generations. Yeah.
So you're like kind of no hard feelings on that one.
Well, I don't know if they necessarily had like noble intentions. It might have been, they needed to rally the troops to go to war and
right.
get them through a war and all that. But I do understand there's part of me that's like, if nobody was harmed and it just made us all like happier that we did a thing, then that's not good, but it's also not 9/11.
Murder. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Dude, yeah, cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to go back into digging into more of that stuff than the current culture because it's much more fun and much.
Oh man, bring me,
much
dude. I want to
more
learn more
relevant.
about that shit.
Let's do it. We did this for a minute of like some of the pop-spiracy stuff, like the Michael Jacksons and the Elvis Presleys and the moon landings and stuff, where me and Scott McElroy, who used to be a part of the show, we would just like do a quick couple-day dig on a topic and then get together and be like, here's what we found, and then go through that. Maybe we should do that and give the news a break every now and then. Like even this week, clearly it's a slow news week. People are outraged about beer for the third fucking week in a row. Like,
Right.
Most of me doesn't give a shit, but it is fun to talk about. Let's talk about beer some more. So this came out this week after all of that fun stuff because I'm going to save my thoughts, but this is new beer.
America's been drinking beer from a company that doesn't even know which restroom to use. That's why I created Conservative Dad's Ultra Right 100% woke-free beer. As conservatives, we're constantly getting hit in the face, left and right, by the woke mind virus. The last place we want it
See, this is pretty
is
good.
in our beer. If you know which bathroom to use, you know what beer you should be drinking. Stop giving money to woke corporations that hate our values. And to the rest of you woke corporations, stay the away from our kids.
Red flag. If you're gonna say fuck and then bleep yourself, I'm already judging you. And you know what, dude? You know me. I appreciate any. You can grift. I'm cool with a grift.
No,
But this is too heavy-handed on the grift over
Yeah,
principle,
they're trying to
legitness.
do the like the Jeremy's razors and Jeremy's chocolates. The Daily
Right,
Wire
right.
guys have been doing some of this, and for those, I kind of respected it a little bit because they're just like, "Hey, we're a company that doesn't hate you, and we have good razors, and we make sure they're good." And it's a company that like the Daily Wire followers and fans are like, "Oh, you're people that I trust to actually give a good product too, so we're gonna go with that." This is ultrarightbeer.com. This is like taking it to the parody level, and this is like just the smug attitude of like, hey, we're all the buzzwords, the woke mind virus, and we're not that, and we're not that. Like, it's so like this feels just as fake to me as the Budweiser campaigns on both sides. This is just like, we want your money and we're selling you beer. I understand like you don't want to buy a product from a company that legitimately doesn't like your existence. If you believe that, don't do that. But this guy doesn't give a shit about you. This guy is grift hardcore, and I find it to be very just next level gross of just who is this guy? Why the fuck do we care? And
Bro, that hoodie is brand new. I don't think he's ever worn it.
freedom speaks up. Ultra right beer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Like, why do it? It's one of the most frustrating parts of this is like we are creating two different cultures: the people who buy from leftists and people who buy from right wing. And it doesn't matter what the quality is of the product at this point. It's what are the political leanings of a fucking beer company. Who cares? It's beer. It's poison. We're talking about poison. And stay the fuck away from our children. It's like, you're a beer company. You stay the fuck away from the children. All beer companies, stop marketing to children. Like, whether you're right wing or left wing. Why do children have anything to do with beer?
You know what, dude? You just got me thinking about this again. Like, it's about their whole purpose. Like, why would they shoot themselves in the foot like this? And it's not, this corporation is not unique, and this is one of the largest ones. But like, we don't know. Like there's probably a parent company of Anheuser-Busch. Like, or what are their interests globally? But like I said, dude, it all comes back to the World Economic Forum. So like, they could want to tank certain areas or do certain things to certain demos, and then you know what I'm saying? Instead of thinking on like the profit and loss system, like, wow, why would they want to lose money? Like, instead, like, how can these corporations weaponize their products?
Right.
You know, we know they weaponize the movie and television entertainment industry. We know how that's done. But like, and we know they're poisoning us through the food supply and everything else. There's food deserts everywhere. Like, the corn you're eating is, you know, by and large, chemically altered, genetically modified. And so like, I don't know, all angles, these corporations are obviously not just interested in like turning a profit, and they're so connected through companies like BlackRock and other things. So it's hard to like see the 30-degree chess, you know, of like, what I don't know, just a thought.
So what is their motivation? Do you believe that Budweiser is trying to transgender children and because of Satanism? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm open to all things, but I don't know. There's certainly that part of me that's like, yes, there's certainly some sort of agenda going on here. But I for the sake of just most logical explanation, or most even societally logical explanation, like, as a normie, how do you look at this? Look at the Bud Light thing and look at the pushback. Like you said earlier, CIA for, I don't know, for the Anheuser-Busch people or something. Like, even that, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Anheuser-Busch and conservative dad here, both like CIA plants. Like, this whole thing is so stupidly divisive. Like, how does a fucking shitty beer that has an individual involved in one marketing campaign cause this much outrage that people are making these different? I don't know. How do you explain this from a normie perspective? What do they have? Either one have to gain?
Yeah, I saw one article that was hinting at the fact that guy was canning that stuff at like a factory that was owned by Anheuser-Busch and like using that kind of. So like,
I also saw some posts. You mean the conservative one?
Yeah, Mega Right Beer or whatever.
I also saw like when this came out, somebody posted that it was like $35 for a 6-pack. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna get our like our factory's going, it's not in stores yet, the price will drop down, which makes sense. But then like 2 days later, somebody else was like, it's $20 now for a 6-pack. It's like, well, did you guys figure out all the marketing stuff in 2 days, or was this a scam from the get-go?
Yeah, you're gonna have to do better than that, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. It's all lame.
Yeah, it comes from the fact that he really came across as fake and as an
Right.
opportunist grifter. It wasn't.
Yeah, the Jeremy's
legit.
Razors ones are like legit, like fuck you ads that are well made, and it's clear that
Can you
they
imagine, dude,
have a point.
if Legion of Skanks or something was like, we're starting a beer company? People, you know what I mean? Or like, I don't know, whoever, fucking Tom Woods, whoever, somebody with like a reputation that was like, we're gonna do something cool because that
Yeah,
does
like
something,
who is
whatever.
this guy? Who is this like schmuck smug like I'm conservative dad, and so you should buy my beer because I like Trump. Like, who cares? Who cares what you like? Do you like good beer? Do you like making good beer? Can we just get back to like buying the beer that tastes good instead and support some of those guys instead of supporting the I don't know, the beer that is literally cheaper than water if you go to a bar or to a gas station at least.
Anheuser-Busch has no good beers. No good beers. They might. I don't know.
It is fun to watch.
So many
though.
of them.
Like in the cultural sense of all this, it's fun to watch from a perspective of like, yeah, I do think all this is stupid, but it is fascinating to see how the mob works and to see how the back and forth works and the recoil and the Budweiser just like, we are as American spirit as they come. Do not take, like, they immediately fire. I can just imagine they're like, lady, sit down. We're done with you. Get the cowboy back in here. What do the Cowboys want? Because the Cowboys were our demographic, and we don't give a fuck about your transgender whatever agenda. We're here to sell beer. At the end of the day, beer should be your only focus as a company and making better beer than you do. But no, we're gonna whatever. Who cares? It's so
They
dumb.
used to sell, bro. Back in the day, they used to use hot chicks all the time on TV,
Right.
and on billboards and magazines.
And that was annoying to me as a gay man. Just kidding. That was annoying to me. Like,
Jesus, get
the
these
over
titties out
sexualization of everything, I always was like, but
Well,
at the
I
same
think
time, it
that's-
at least made sense. Oh, you're going to eat a Hardee's burger, a big, greasy, meaty, fatty burger, and then this bikini chick will fuck you. Like,
Right.
at
Well,
the
least they
least
know
that
their
marketing makes
audience.
sense.
Right. It is. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's not good, but again, it's not as bad. I want the
Right.
Top Gun over the whatever Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
Whatever-
I've
whatever
just
the,
always
whatever
like
the new woke flick is.
hated anything that I feel like is manipulating me. And I don't know.
get it. I totally get it. Star Wars, you got to be pissed off. They're just,
Maybe that's why I got into the manipulation game with these videos. Just like,
Right.
well, what if somebody, there wasn't real thought that went into it, but thinking back on it, like, even, what is making noise? Oh, never mind. Happy, today's Waco, right? Waco anniversary?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out
Saw
to
that.
David Thibodeau. I have it in my phone because I usually go and repost my episodes where I interviewed David Thibodeau and Gary Nesner on this day. So that's what popped up in my calendar.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I need to learn more about that because I don't know those names.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, that's I know,
Dave.
sorry, I'm being legit with you. I'm being honest.
I'm telling you, I used to do a lot more homework and do a lot more valuable content. But now we make dick jokes about ladies with dicks. And that's valuable too.
Mhm.
So
because it's happening. Before it wasn't happening.
Right.
Now it's
had no
that's the
reason to talk
mainstream.
about it.
Yeah.
Now we do have to talk about because I don't think we're going to do an after party. I think we'll just go ahead and work this in now since we're pretty ahead of schedule for our normal time. I do want to talk about. You saw this Elon Musk clip with him just destroying the BBC. You saw that, right?
Yes. Awesome.
Yes. Another I don't know, just notch in the belt of Elon Musk, and I hate how much he makes me like him because I don't want to like him. I want to fear him and know, like, of all the things that he has his hand in, and not like the political stuff, I don't give a shit, but like the neuro, like, chips and the AI that he warned us of for generations and then made robots and stuff. I don't know. Dave, why don't you give a quick recap? We've talked about Elon Musk a lot on the show, but it's been a while. Maybe we have some new people, but we pretty much align on Elon Musk. What are your thoughts?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is selfish, and that is that he gave me not only my original Twitter account back, but all 5 of the ones that I established before that.
Oh, you're frozen.
Oh, crap.
Oh, you're still frozen, but I can hear you.
All
There
right,
you
we're
are.
back.
There
All
you
right,
are.
I'm frozen.
Hey, yeah.
The feds. Yeah, dude. So I'm grateful. But I'm.
They don't want
watching
you
with
talking
a-
about your 20 Twitter accounts that Elon Musk gave you back.
Right, right. So no, that's cool. Honestly, dude, right now, I'm just, right now, free speech for the most part. I know there's some stuff I've seen that's, it's not. I think the BOD made some.
I got a a post taken down the other day because I retweeted a video of Blink-182 performing at Coachella. I did not post
Right.
it. I shared it, and they gave me a copyright violation on that.
That's real crazy.
Yeah.
And the Mises Caucus had some stuff taken down, and their account got hit with a strike. That I think the Department of Defense said was like, you can't share this Ukraine info about Ukraine, and I think they agreed to like take it down. Like that was the deal. You have to take it down. You can come back.
Yeah.
So there's still government kind of making. I think it would have been like a legal thing, not like this isn't a suggestion. This isn't like, we're trying to influence your policy. It's like you'll take this down, or we'll go after you.
That's retarded.
But I'm back, and I can tell Howard Stern to go fuck himself now on Twitter instead of
So far.
Yeah.
Just don't
So
share
far,
any
so good.
Blink-182 videos because that's over the
See,
line.
that's weird. I feel like that's a glitch, though. I feel like that's something.
I
that's
also
gotta
had
be
one
maybe
last
worked
week
out.
that was like it was the RFK and Donald Trump pair up thing, and I said you're gonna make me vote, and they were like, this is violence.
Right. This is weird. Yeah.
Something's going on. Something weird.
Monica Perez gets hit with warnings on the simplest stuff, like
Right.
like, hey, look into this lady before you open this up, kind of stuff.
I post
it's not-
offensive stuff, and they take
Yeah.
down the very nothing ones, like just like, hey, Blink-182 isn't very good. Strike. Like,
Right.
I don't know. It's weird, but I don't know. Do you trust Elon Musk any more now than you did, a few months back when we were talking about him?
No, there's no reason for that, for more trust. But I don't know. I am cautiously optimistic because I don't know. He
I
is a
think stuff
government
like this video
contractor,
is reason
right?
for more trust, to some degree, of just the fact that he's willing to say it. Or maybe we should save that for during the video.
Okay, we can talk about it after, but I might disagree with that. But
Okay.
you want to do the video first?
Sure. What were you saying? I cut you off.
Yeah, I think I might disagree with that a little bit. Like because I think that they can definitely elevate heroes and
Right.
villains in their stories and things like that. And if just like DeSantis, right? Like he was a hero. Everybody fucking loves him because he's the anti-lockdown guy, but he didn't do anything that like really challenged anything legally
Right.
or like any like just like Obama. I'm going after Bush and
He's a little less
Guantanamo
worse.
Bay. Right. It doesn't really tend to pan out, and he's again so many hundreds of billions of dollars in government cloud contracts. He's satellites in Ukraine. He's doing, and the electric cars that are or the charging stations are all Tesla stations across the country. So all that stuff, the grid, this is all like his shit. So I don't know, man. He's part of it, but shit seems to be cool when he's around. I don't know.
Right.
Yep, it's better. He's
I know.
he's like the Top Gun movie as opposed to, the thing that's awful,
Right.
whatever awful movie.
Exactly.
Right. It's still like propaganda, but it like makes you feel good. Like,
I want to
almost
believe
like-
that there's like a guy who's just like the richest man in the world, and he's got fuck you money out the ass, so he's just like fuck you to all the, like I want to
he's
believe
so
that he's a hero. I would love that, but
that would be great,
I don't
dude. I know.
now that we've trashed him needlessly before this awesome interview, let's watch a bit of this.
Free speech is meaningless unless you allow people you don't like to say things you don't like. Otherwise, it's irrelevant. And if at the point at which you lose free speech, it doesn't come back.
I think the issue some people have is that a lot of people were brought back. I mean, some people were brought back who were previously banned for spreading things like QAnon conspiracies. You have people like Andrew Tate, who were brought back,
Thank
who were
you.
previously banned for
Yep.
things like hate speech. Do you think you prioritize freedom of speech over misinformation and hate?
Freedom vote of speech over misinformation. So misinformation. How can you? Like, let's compare the two. Like, these are the two options. You have freedom of speech and people who are lying about things. Well, if you don't let people lie about things, then what's the point of freedom of speech? If you don't let, like, if everybody has to say the same 100% truths and fall in the same line, the same narratives, what is the point of freedom of speech? It's like, this is a non-question even. You're like, the two options are, we get to decide, or we get to decide. Like, if you're speaking against us, you're incorrect. So,
Well, who's to say that something is misinformation? Who's the arbiter of that? Is it the BBC?
You're literally asking me.
Yes.
Well, no,
Who is the arbiter?
you are the arbiter on Twitter because you own Twitter.
Yes, I'm saying who is to say that one person...
he's he's asking who's the arbiter of truth. Like, you have to be the arbiter of truth in order to be the arbiter of what is misinformation and disinformation. You have to have all knowledge to know all the things that are not true. You have to know all the things that are true. And Elon Musk is asking, and he's like, well, you're the arbiter of truth on Twitter. It's like, no, because you disagree with my opinions on things. Like, I like, you're having a problem with me allowing people to say things that I agree or disagree. It doesn't matter. But even if Elon Musk agreed with everything that was said on Twitter, like, that doesn't make him the arbiter of truth. And the question is, he's trying to make it like, who gets to decide, what is true on Twitter? And Elon Musk is saying, who gets to decide what is true? Period. Is it the fucking BBC? Because you guys seem to think so.
This information is another person's information. The point at which you say that there is this is misinformation, like, who is going
But you
to
accept
decide
that misinformation can be dangerous, that it can cause real-world harms, that it can potentially cause...
Yes, so the point I'm trying to make is that the BBC itself has, at times, published things that are false. Do you agree that has occurred?
Like, I don't know. Is it just me? Is it just my weird, uncomfortable nature? But there's something about me that just loves the awkward pauses. I cannot believe, like, Elon Musk had to have had a contract with these people before going on that said you have to play the whole thing unedited from, like, one angle. There's no reason why they would put this out at all, let alone put it all out from just this angle so you can see the entire squirm session. But it fills me with joy because, I don't know, I'm a dark person.
So good.
It is.
I'm quite sure the BBC have said things before that turn out to not be true.
Correct.
In its, whatever it is, 100-year history, I'm quite sure.
Yes. Even if you aspire to be accurate, there are times
Nothing
when
specific,
you'll-
though.
Yes. Maybe. I can't say for sure, but it seems like we might not have been 100% perfect and all-knowing at all times. Yeah, that's kind of the point.
will not be.
We've spoken to people very recently who were involved in moderation, and they just say there's not enough people to police this stuff, particularly around hate speech in the company. Is that
Well, what
something
hate
that you want
speech
to
are you
address?
talking about? I mean, you use Twitter.
Right.
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
I mean,
But just a personal anecdote. Like, what do you? I don't.
personally, for you, I would see I get more of that kind of content. Yeah, personally, but I'm not going to talk to the rest of for the rest of Twitter.
You
But
see more
personally,
hate speech personally.
I would say I would see more hateful content in that.
Content you don't like or hateful? What do you mean? Describe a hateful thing.
Yeah,
Not giving them an inch.
Just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm
Well,
saying.
I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content.
This is like, I don't know. I love that the richest man in the world is fucking autistic, because he might not even know that he's destroying this guy right now. I don't even know that he thinks it's being like as based as shit as he is. He's just like,
Right.
no, explain. No, that doesn't make sense. Explain. No, explain.
Right.
Like, it's very autistic of him to do that, and because it doesn't make sense. The words that he's saying don't make sense, and like all he's doing is saying, You made in your question, you made an allegation. Can you please explain that allegation further? And the guy can't. He can't even explain what his fucking question is. And yeah, God bless autism.
Can we get down to the specifics? No.
Right. Can we get to one of the specifics? No, we cannot. No, I don't use Twitter much.
I'm asking for specific examples. And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be
We lost
banned?
Dave. Where'd Dave go? Shit. Dave. Dave. Dave's back. Hey, Dave.
Hey, bud.
There you go.
Oh, you finished the video for me? That's so nice.
I did. I didn't want to go on without you, Dave.
That's great. Appreciate it.
I mean, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
You
don't.
can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why, because I don't actually use that for you feed anymore because I just don't particularly like it.
You said
Actually,
you-
a lot of people.
So I saw a bunch of racism in the For You section,
Yeah.
and then I stopped using it. That's why I can't give you an example, because I saw so much of it that I stopped using it, but I can't give you an example of what it was. Like, the circular nonsense logic. It's great.
Similar. I only
Well,
look at
hang on
my
a second.
following.
You said you've seen more hateful content, but you
Wait,
can't
wait,
name
wait.
a single
Rewind that.
example. Not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and
Well, then how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using it. I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen the For You hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
You can't give a single one.
And I'm
Right.
saying.
I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really.
Yes, because you can't give me a single example
Nope. No. Sorry.
of hateful content, not even one tweet. And yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
That's false.
no. What I
You
claimed,
just lied.
What? No. What I claimed was.
I'd say good day, sir.
I love it, because like this guy's like, this is what we do on the BBC. We just ask a question that makes you squirm, and you're supposed to be the squirming one. I'm not supposed to be squirming right now. Please stop making me squirm. But also, I don't know I don't remember what question I just asked, but it's so beautiful watching him try and dig himself out of an obvious, flagrant lie.
How do you get a job this exclusive and show up and not have anything to say?
Right.
How can you not? Because you could have went and found Tower Gang and went, look at these fucking. You know, what I'm
There's
saying?
some
You could
shit
have
on
found that.
Twitter. Yeah, he could have found
Yeah.
it pretty easily. My friends, follow any one of them. Follow Dave. You'll find plenty of shit.
This is, sir, this is the biggest interview of your life with the richest man in the world, and now you're just.
You
a
didn't do a
queef
little
that
bit of
everybody's making
research?
Fun of.
Right.
Yeah, you blew it for the right. You know, you're done.
Journalism. If I was interviewing Elon Musk, it even like, I mean, I wouldn't be showing up with the argument of, hey, there's too much hate speech on Twitter, the free speech platform that has too much hate speech, and how do we deal with that? That would not have been my argument. But even if I was like challenged with the task of pretending like that was my argument, if it was like debate club, I would have showed up better prepared than this guy did to ask him like just these flagrantly, I don't know, like disrespectful questions, to be like, well, your platform that you own since you started owning it is full of bigots and pieces of shit. How can you account for that? Well, how can you account for that? Well, I haven't seen any exactly. All right, so we're done here, right? You're lying. You're lying. If you can't give one example, you're lying. They are out there, but this, I don't know. Part of me does feel a little bit bad for him, because I'm like, it is. There is some out there, but I don't think it's increased. Certainly, not in my feed has, has legitimate hate speech. For you, Dave, have you seen more actual racism? I have seen some racism, but have you seen more racism than you did before?
No, I've seen. I think you can. No, I haven't seen any more of that. I've seen more people willing to use the word retard. Does that count?
God bless
I don't know
it. Yes.
I've seen more of that.
And that's the
I've
thing. It's
seen-
like, what do you define as hate speech? And that was kind of
Right.
Elon Musk's start. It's like, so
Right.
anybody who makes a sexist joke should be banned, or anybody who says anything that you deem as sexist or whatever, which could be like traditional values, can be seen as sexist these days. So if somebody's preaching traditional values on Twitter, should that be banned? And, the guy knows that any example that he gives is going to sound ridiculous because it is ridiculous. Yes, freedom of speech is more important than not having sexist jokes on the internet. I'm sorry.
Organizations that say that that kind of information is on the rise. Now, whether it has on my
Give me
feed
one
or
example.
not, I mean, right, and
Literally
if you
can't
look at
name
something
one.
like the Strategic Dialogue Institute in the UK, they will say that. So
Look, people will say all sorts of nonsense. I'm literally asking for a
Right.
single example, and you can't name one.
right, and as I already said, I don't use that feed. But
Well, then how would you know?
I don't think this is getting anywhere.
You literally said you experienced more hateful content, and then couldn't name a single example.
Right, and as I said,
That's absurd.
I haven't actually looked at that feed.
Then how would you know there's hateful content?
Because I'm saying that's what I saw a few weeks ago. I can't give you an exact example. Let's move on. We only have a certain amount of time.
Please,
let
please
me
let it
go,
be
dude.
over.
Let's move on.
Please let this interview be done before my career is.
We will agree to disagree about the hate speech.
Yeah, it's just like a race to see which ends first, this interviewer's career. And I imagine they kind of came in neck and neck.
COVID misinformation. You
Amazing.
You changed the COVID misinformation.
Has
rules.
BBC changed its COVID misinformation?
BBC does not set.
What did you think was going to happen? Why would that be the next thing you bring up? What did you think he was going to say in response to that? After
better
the
be
last
ready,
4.5 minutes of him like just saying, "Where's the hate speech, bro? Where's the hate speech?" What did you think he was going to say when you said, "Well, what about COVID misinformation?" Like, it started with him saying, who gets to determine what's information and misinformation? And you couldn't answer that question. So where do you think this is going to go? I love it.
On Twitter, so I'm asking you.
No, I'm talking about the BBC's misinformation about COVID.
I'm literally asking you about, you changed the labels, the COVID misinformation labels. There used to be a policy, and then disappeared. Why do that?
Well, COVID is no longer an issue. Does the BBC hold itself at all responsible for misinformation regarding masking and side effects of vaccinations?
Ooh.
And not reporting on that at all? And what about the fact that the BBC was put under pressure by the British government?
I don't even want to hit the air horn because I love the awkward silences even more. It's just so fun to watch. I mean, this is the empire. This is the establishment. This is the when we talk about who the they is, who the people in control is, it's these motherfuckers. It's the person who would go out and think that this was going to hold up. And it's beautiful to watch the narrative collapse and people like Elon Musk, even whether you trust him or not, watch people like Elon Musk call the motherfucker out.
I love it, dude. And just by the way, yeah, as you mentioned this, like Elon Musk just slapped the CBC, the Canadian broadcast, the exact same thing,
right?
The CIA version of this over there with the government sticker on their shit. They hated it. He just did that with NPR over here. They hated it. It's so great, man. It's more transparency. They really hate transparency.
Yep.
Oh my God. But it's beautiful.
Trump Musk 24. Would you vote for that?
Definitely over. I mean, look,
he is a foreigner, so it wouldn't really work, but still.
I have a feeling that I'm gonna make some kind of concession in 2024. That's on the docket.
Oh man,
I really wanted to.
You might be right, Dave. I haven't really
I don't
thought
know.
about that.
Yeah. That's what I imagine. I don't imagine anybody. If Ron Paul's not running, I don't know. So I'd like to see Dave Smith get in there, but if I don't see that, I can't imagine. I'm so picky about that shit.
Right.
Like if I'm going to donate time, money, energy, and tell my friends to go do this too.
If I'm even going to drive to the polling place, like at this point,
I'll go
with all the
I'll
options.
Go do that. I live right down the street from my polling place. I'll walk.
I do
there
too.
Ron Paul. Oh, that is black pill. But that's great. And I can almost appreciate that too. But
if there's somebody who, I mean, even last time I drove to the polling place and wrote in Spike Cohen twice because I didn't even believe in Joe Jorgensen enough to vote for her. I couldn't even concede to that. So
listen, while you mentioned his name, I'll say right now, if Dave doesn't get in the game, I'll beg Spike Cohen to get in the game.
I'll join you.
That guy would be the only guy.
I'll be his running mate.
I would. Oh,
He
man,
wouldn't want
okay,
it,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure, but I would make sure of it.
But it's on the table. So
I love Spike
yeah.
and Spike loves me, but I don't know if that would be the best pair for I don't know, optics reasons perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, I support your run too. I don't know. That would be a toughie, or yeah, maybe you could.
Well, I would
work something
certainly
out.
never run against Spike, but yeah, if
That would
Spike
be-
wants
yeah,
more
right.
more anger and blackpilling in his campaign, Spike can be the voice of reason. While I'm like, now for real, guys, let's get this shit together. Let's do something. Like, yeah,
He's got
Spike
some fun.
Cohen, hit me up. All right.
Call Dan, Spike.
Policy
309
very
something
well.
something.
He was supposed to be in Florida this weekend, and I'm pretty sure he's doing like a call-in because he's not a real libertarian or something. And yeah, there's been quite a few events recently within the last year that I've gone to, and Spike was supposed to be there, and he hasn't been there. So Spike, I'm
Is
calling
he a
you
coward?
out.
Oh shit!
I was gonna go there, but since you went there, I don't need to. And we're still cool, Spike. But listen to Dave here.
Seriously.
This is not an interview about the BBC.
Oh, you
so-
thought it wasn't?
I see now why you've done Twitter Spaces. I am not a representative of the BBC's editorial policy. I want to make that clear. Let's talk about something else. If you want
I'm
to talk about the
interviewing you
BBC,
too.
He's already changing topics. Like all it took after the last one went on for so long, and then COVID, he brings up and it went to the obvious place. He's like, actually, no, another thing. Let's talk about something completely different than COVID because I certainly can't back that up.
All right, let's talk about something else.
You weren't expecting that.
I wish I knew what the next topic was because I bet it had nothing to do with controversy. Even it was probably just like, so how's the Mars stuff going, sir? Like, please leave me alone. I'm sorry.
Electric cars are great. I have one.
Yeah. I don't know. So on the topic of you'll never be fake enough, we've seen a lot of examples of that today, from Madonna to Bud to Moana and Disney to Sandra Bullock to comedians to Sam Smith. Like Sam Smith is a case where it's like he knows that woke sells right now, and he's like trying to stay ahead of the curve, so he's setting the trend as being as woke as he can possibly get, and it's turning him into a gelatinous blob of future depression and anxiety and possible high rates of suicide. But yeah, like no matter what, like the lie that you're going down, it's like I mean, I've had friends who are pathological liars, and just on their own, it's like you call them on a lie, and then they have to make another lie to compensate for that lie, and then another lie, and it compounds on top of itself until you just become a gelatinous Sam Smith blob of lies compiled on top of lies to keep the peace and keep your own ego intact while satisfying everybody around you. And that's the culture that we live in now. It's just like lies upon lies, and people saying, I dare you to call this lie out. Well, I think it's time to call the fucking lies out a little bit more, even though it might make you, I don't know, a right-winger or a whatever. Like, being honest, if being honest gets you called a right-winger, then maybe think about why the right-wingers have better arguments on that particular topic. And I'm not praising right-wingers, but quite frankly, if a right-winger is the only one saying that children shouldn't chop their penises off, then maybe you should be okay with being called a right-winger when it comes to that topic. What are your thoughts, Dave?
Yo, no joke, dude. And I'm only using this quote because she said it multiple times in like her little speech in Wilmington the other day with at the end trans hate rally. This Shauna Neal lady, the rep. What she did was with her kid at age 3, with the help of some social workers in Delaware, was to set precedent. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm looking to do is set precedent. Like I'm so yeah, thanks for asking, dude. I'm actually so angry about this shit. Like I don't know. I can't really focus much on like other libertarian shit. Like you were saying, like we should probably be talking about all these other things, but like they're chemically castrating children.
Right. In mass. Like and people will say, "Oh, it's small numbers now," but it's like this thing is so rapidly progressing that it's like, at what point do we say stop, or at least I'm not going to praise that, or you're incorrect, or you should give your kids up for adoption or something? Like I don't
I'm
know.
telling you, man. I think it's progressed more than we even thought, dude. Washington, was it Washington? Well, Washington. I'll get the picture, but they just passed a law, dude. Here it is, right here. That Washington State House approves bill authorizing hiding of children seeking transgender medical intervention from parents.
Yep.
So if the kid wants it, call the state. The
Right.
White House just set up a hotline.
You can't smoke cigarettes with your friends. You can't drink a
Right.
beer. You can't go into an R-rated movie. You can't, like, I don't know, like, from a libertarian perspective, it's like, I see libertarians who are like, this kid should be allowed to do whatever he wants because he's got free autonomy and whatever. It's like, well, maybe let's start with letting them go see an R-rated movie, or let's start with them drinking a beer or something like I don't know, just the leap over all these other things that libertarians are perfectly fine with accepting these regulations on minors to not do drugs or something. Like even the most anti-drug war libertarian doesn't want kids doing drugs, I would imagine. And if they do, they should probably give their kids away to somebody better. But like when it comes to this stuff, for some reason we just, yes, that's fine because that's the current thing, and it's the thing that is amplifying so rapidly and becoming such a problem that we've got these libertarians who are just terrified of calling out degeneracy.
Bro, and sometimes, like, I have a less of a problem. For instance, this dude came in my waffle stand just this past weekend. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry I haven't made it out. I see you guys doing libertarian stuff here all the time. But the pictures are great and appreciate what you're doing." And he had breakfast and he hung out late. We talked for a while. He's like, "Hey, I need to get out more. Like I get headaches sometimes at home. So I'm either need to go get out of the house or like just, stick to my hobby." I'm like, "What are your hobbies?" And he mentioned something, and then he goes, "And I'm a cross dresser." And bro, this guy was just like,
Sure,
truck driver, big beard, a permanent one, so he, whatever.
Slay Queen.
So I was like, yeah, I was like, oh, is he pissed at me? Cause maybe he saw this stuff that I was going through with Deshaun and Neil. And like, I've been called, I hate trans people, all the same shit. Right. I'm trying to save the children, dog. Like
right.
hashtag save
and the
children.
trans people. Like
right.
if you're a trans person,
people.
Call it out when it's wrong. Like when it's crossing lines.
I immediately, just started talking to this guy. Like, but I'm like, "Hey man, just so you know, I'm a libertarian. Obviously you can do whatever you want." I started picking his brain. Like, so are you LGBTQ? He's like, "No." I mean, other than the fact that I put on dresses.
No, I'm a man. I just drink Bud Light on the weekends.
Bro, packs a dress when he goes on trips, and he'll dress up in his hotel room by himself and chill and fucking drink Bud Lights and shit.
So
like,
he doesn't even like do it, like he doesn't do drag shows or like he doesn't go out in public like that. He just
And I'm only telling this story because he said his wife died years back, and after that he's just been living his own truth. His kids know, everybody knows this is his. So
they know that in private he dresses. And
they know that, and this is just his.
I mean, he has no
thing.
reason to even share that. That's
so right,
interesting.
He really doesn't. But so, like, you could ask me, and he did not. But like, I was fully accepting of him. Come here, hang out. We do more meetings. Join the club. You want to run for office. All this shit. If you were to ask me, do you think that's weird? I would go, yeah. I think that's weird. You know what I mean? That's weird. But do I hate you? Not even a little bit. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And then there's like the drag queen story hour.
I mean, people who play like.
They're really
World of Warcraft. I mean, I don't respect that either, but I don't care if you do it.
Right. This is kind of funny to me, but no, we could be friends.
Right.
And then there's the next kind of step, like where I don't know, man. They're pushing the envelope really, kind of with some of the drag queen story hour stuff. Lots of the footage of maybe it's not at a public library, but there's some bad shit out there. But this lady, bro, Deshaun Neal, took her. I'm not misquoting. This is all out of her mouth. Her 3-year-old, clinically depressed, autistic child to a social worker who specialized in gender affirmation.
Wow.
And then
I wonder what the outcome was.
Right. And now she's got another transgender child, girl, and a gay kid, and I guess one kid who made it out alive. There's 4 kids, and that's right. So I'm going to make no legal claims here, but I'm telling everybody who watches this show to look up this elected official in Delaware and do something about this. Because I'm telling my Libertarian Party guys, I'm like, yo, I don't. They're like, you should run against her, or we should get somebody to run against her. I'm like, is that what you do with potbelly demons? Is that the answer to this?
Vote harder.
I want it. I want to be so loud about it, bro. That like her, at the very least, like her Democratic colleagues will have to go, yes, we are pro 3-year-old autistic affirming of. I want to see you get that on fucking tape.
Right.
It's so incredible to me that we're having this conversation. And Delaware's one of the worst states, dude. She's getting affirmed all over the place. All the equity stuff and all the things to help disabled trans mutants from across the state. And it's appalling. So, her kid's 19 now. This kid's 19. But again, a disabled child, she did this to.
Yeah, and even like there's people are starting to see a link between autism and the trans stuff because more trusting, more easily manipulated for some people, and especially you work depression into that, like just like a cocktail of just all I need, like I'm in this dark place there where nobody understands me, and here's just a nudge in that direction is all it's going to take to push somebody towards a child, a 3-year-old. Did you say 3?
3 years old, dude. They got.
I mean, how do you even know your 3-year-old is autistic? Let's be honest.
You could check out episode 35, Dave versus Goliath, where we first talked about this lady and Dylan Mulvaney when he hit the scene. But dude, yeah, she had a pink dress ready for the kid on the kid's 4th birthday. So she was already transitioning. She had that dress purchased for the birthday when he was 3. And always
tell me that's not grooming.
Right. She says, my child was quiet. My child was, not answering to her name. My child. Your child transitioned from something. It was your son.
Right.
That's, it's just so the
gross.
Worst thing in the world.
It's gross. And I mean, not everybody has to be a podcaster, culture warrior, dumb, angry person on the internet like we are. But at the very least, like I'm trying to be like as realistic as possible for the normie out there who might hear this, who is just like at work and hears about like this conversation going on in public. Just be honest, and to the very minimal extent of just going, nah, that's kind of gross. Nope. Like that's all it takes. Like that could change our culture.
Maybe sometimes this is abused,
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like that's all. Somebody with the testicular fortitude to say, I don't know, man. Like I don't really want to get into it, but I just that seems wrong to me. Like that's all it takes. Like that is bravery in our modern culture because most people hear about this stuff and they go, my kid's fine, so I'm just gonna like go over here and not worry about this and hope that it goes away. It's not going away. It's getting worse every day. So, I don't know. Like, do trans people like the idea of it? Like, they act like it's such a thing to suffer, and like society is so mean to them and all that. And certainly, I'm sure they have some hardships. I can't imagine. Sounds awful. Now, why are we pushing it on children then? Children that have not had a chance to figure out who they are, why are we pushing them in that direction at all if it's such a bad thing? Seems like a lie to me. But that's me.
The worst kind, man. Children cannot consent. They don't know about what a relationship with somebody would be like later in life. A 4-year-old? Or even an 8-year-old, a 12-year-old, a teenager, being a teenager, as we've talked about. Everybody knows
we're talking about like not teaching kids about certain sex, but like this is even like before the kid even knows what sex is. You're like, you're a girl, you're a girl, you're a girl. This is just straight confusion out the gate.
As my other Dan said last night, like gender is the first thing.
Side Dan.
You learn. Side Dan. As he said last night, you check out that episode. The first thing that you tie down to is your gender. Am I a boy or a girl? And this
which used to be pretty clear cut.
This fucking monster, bro. She instead blurs that line for her autistic child at age 3 to 4 and on.
Gross.
And I know. It's like she did this.
Yeah.
And the kid is grateful. I don't know what I would do without my mom. Like it's just the saddest shit, bro. So I don't know. We need to do something about this. Set a precedent, as she would say. Show this case. I think it's the worst case I've ever seen. Can you, if anybody can show me another parent of 2 trans kids, or what the actual odds of that happening are, I would love to see it.
Right.
I need that data.
From more than a year ago, because it might be quite a bit these days now that we have more people like this person, this potbelly demon who is
who set the precedent. We're paying for that
setting
now.
the precedent.
State's paying for that. Paying for the puberty blockers, bro.
God. Okay. Yep. I want to go watch your episodes because this sounds like it's gonna get my blood boiling, and it's best not to do it on the air. But we can wrap there. This has been really something. We had a song at the beginning, and then a bunch of bitter stuff since then. But it's been fun, and that's what we do here. Dave, thank you for being here. Do you have any final thoughts on any of this stuff? On the on their it never being fake enough? On the it's not even like a slide down at this point. It's like a climb back up a different mountain. It's like we hit the bottom, and now we're like we're going up just like Demon Mountain on the other side. Like, how bad can we possibly get? Because we thought we were there. Now there's still a full climb back of things that your brain couldn't even perceive before.
Oh man, that is always it. You think the battle's over and you're just getting started. Dude, thank you. I had a great chat. Thanks for the last couple of minutes letting me vent about that lady, because again, this has taken up a lot of my focus lately.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so important, and it's animating me. So I might as well just follow it and, like just really hunt this demon down in Minecraft, in the digital sphere. I mean, nobody, any harm anywhere. But like, I want to expose this. This could be my job,
Right.
Like Jose's taking on this Terrence Yeeky dude. That's been his passion. He's getting that.
Yeah.
Everybody should just find a thing, go after that shit. So that's mine for right now. But
like
you put together a great episode today, dude. The video is awesome.
Thank you.
And props to the guy who was behind that camera, because it wasn't you, because you were getting it in.
No, that is Rob from Charm Media Group, which is Travis's organization that does works with bands and stuff. Go check them out at charmmediagroup.com. Shout out to them, because I basically gave him my camera and I was like, do this, do that. Like I was directing from in front of the camera, which I hate. I hate like being on camera, or more so, I hate being the camera guy and then also doing music, because I'm like, I want very specific things. And he nailed it. He did what I asked him to, and
it was really good.
Threw in some flavor of his own. So shout out to them.
Well done. And the episode was great. Thank you for tying the thread through the whole thing. It was really well put together.
Thanks.
And
I prepared in advance this week because I knew that I had to get ready for a flight and write a speech, which is what I'm going to go do right now. So. And
this is the icing on the cake, and a great white pill that you're traveling to more LP events. And this is going to be a good one. Yeah, go. You'll get Maj on this one. Who else is there? Terma. You got to smoke a joint with somebody.
I might have to get Chase Oliver back on for an update. I think he's going to be there. Yeah. I don't think Hornberger's going to be there, unfortunately. I'm sure we'll all be very devastated and saddened to miss him, but I don't think he's going to be there. I don't know who else there, but yeah, I'll be. I mean, there's going to be some. I think the Swamp Creature dudes are down there. I'm sorry, I'm not that familiar, but hanging out with those guys and other, there's a lot of Florida peeps in my sphere for whatever reason. I don't know how they got there, but I welcome them, and it'll be cool to meet them and hang out with them, and I'll interview whoever comes up, and yeah, I don't know, Maj.
That'll be a good one, man. Yeah, have a lot of fun. I'm excited for you. And go follow me on Twitter, and follow Deshauna Neal on Twitter, and give her shit, and
Amen.
That would mean a lot to me.
Troll the kings, the queens, and all the pot-bellied demon goblins in charge. Dave, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it.
Pleasure, bro. Thank you.
See you next time. And to all of you, thank you for being here in the chats and in the future. I appreciate you, and we are not doing an after party because we already covered the Elon Musk stuff. So to anybody who's not in the Downers Club, you're welcome. You got basically a Downers Club episode. It might not have gotten as spicy as we do over there. Go find out at patreon.com/thesystemsdown. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to go finish up packing and head out. You guys will probably see some updates. I'd be willing to bet that you're going to see some updates. over the next weekend, because it's going to be a blast, and I will make sure of it. It might be uncomfortable, but it'll be a blast either way. Until next time, whenever that is, go out and be honest with people and question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Peace out.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemsdown for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
This has been a Goulash Media production. goulashmedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.